All right, so making friends has always come easy to me. And I mean, it comes easy to a lot of people. You know, you link up with with somebody that thinks like you, plays like you, and then, you're best buddies for the rest of your lives, or so you think.
Take 20. The older generation and conservatives refer to us as the snowflake generation. We're spoiled. We're lazy. We're anti-Trump. They got that one right. Okay, boomer. This is the Take 20 podcast, helping you navigate through your 20s and being completely unapologetic about how we do it. Reach out to us on Instagram at Take20_podcast. This is Take 20.
Oh, yeah. That usually doesn't end up that way. You're not best buddies for the rest of your life. Maybe the rest of your teenage life.
Or maybe the rest of like third grade.
Yeah.
And then you never talk to him again.
Yeah.
You'll see him in the hallway and be like, we were friends last year. Should I talk to them?
Nope.
Nah. All right. So we're talking about how do friendships work out from the time you were kids to the time you're now. Here on Take 20, we like to break it down about life in your 20s. What is it like? What was it like, for our parents? Comparing and contrasting. How do we get through this stuff? How do we cope with it? How do we deal with it? This time we'll talk about friends. If you think about when you were young, how did you make friends? You just happened to be playing in a space and there was another kid playing in that space. And next thing you know, you're playing together in that space.
Yeah.
Not even a whole lot of words are exchanged. Sometimes they just show up and you start playing together. And the next time you come to the park or maybe recess, you see them, you play again. And then next thing you know, you're cutting up in class because now you know this person and you're cool. But, you get to be an adult. Things work a little bit differently because now we have way more responsibility. Some people have bills. Most everybody has work or school if you're still in college, and keeping in contact with people, it just doesn't happen like it used to.
Yeah.
You might see them every day. You get your little interaction in and it's easy, but then when you start having to make your own schedule, you find out you have to actually schedule time to see your friends most of the time. And
yeah.
It doesn't happen like that.
You even have to schedule talking to your friends sometimes because, that takes energy.
It's a little bit easier in the age of social media and smartphones because, a text message is just a text message.
Oh,
you can send it. Maybe you have a little Snapchat group or a Facebook Messenger group, with all your friends in it. That keeps it simple. But if you really want that one-on-one connection with that person who used to be your best friend, you gotta find a way to put in some time.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people will say, if you really care about a person, you'll find the time for them. It's not always that simple.
Yeah, it's
not
really
always that
hard
easy.
sometimes.
I know one of my best friends actually lives across the street. Well, across the street from me, like literally the house in the same cul-de-sac across the street. I just saw him today for the first time in maybe a week and a half. Because of the way our jobs are set up, he's awake and working early morning because he works in construction, and I work in restaurant management and I work overnight. So when he's at home, I'm at work. And then when he's up and doing stuff, I'm asleep. Because, sometimes I don't get off until like 5 or 6 in the morning, and all morning shift, people who work in the daytime, they're all asleep by then. So it just so happens that I just don't get to see him a whole lot, even though he lives across the street. And, neither one of us, we're not salty about it. We don't say anything about it because, that's just what it is. We're both guys. We're both on that grind. We both want to make money. He's actually married, so, he's putting in the work for his wife and his potential family. That's just the way it is sometimes.
I know for me, when I was in high school, me and my best friend used to talk on the phone literally every freaking night. And, she got really used to that. That's her main communication. That's her main way of communicating with her friends and whomever. If she's not getting that phone call, don't even try texting her because she's not going to respond. She wants that phone call. You better hit her up. It might be 3 a.m. She'll still answer, and she expects to talk. We're going to be talking for hours. I know once I hit college, I was like, look, it's not working, Chief.
Yeah,
that has to go.
like
I'm working. I have homework. I have to go to class. You have to do the same thing. But she would literally find time to be on the phone with people for hours, and I would be like, okay, I'll try.
Look, I've done that too, and see, it's usually you got to give and take, right? I know it's 7:00 and I'm chilling and one of my friends playing on Discord. Maybe we're playing a game or something online, and I'm like, damn, I really should go to bed, but this is like the only time I get to interact with these people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can deal with 1 or 2 hours of less sleep, but then obviously you're gonna feel that the next day.
Oh yeah.
And that, if that's what adulthood is, shit, subtract my shit by a couple years. Let me go back to being 19.
Yeah.
Shit, fuck it. Back when, I'm not gonna say stuff was easy, but it was easier, because even when you in college, college kids have way more free time than they think they do.
I mean, especially if you don't work.
Yeah. Even in between all the classes, all the homework, let's be honest, you're gonna half-ass most of the homework anyway. I remember when I was in college, Wikipedia used to be my bitch. You talk about write a paper with annotations. Well, shit.
Yeah.
I could paraphrase Wikipedia, and they got the annotations at the bottom, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. Homework done. And then there I go off to let's play League of Legends with my friends.
Yeah.
And, definitely the adulthood doesn't work that way, because, it don't matter what your job is. It's much harder to bullshit at work when, being there is basically a privilege. You'd be fired at any time. You got to be careful what you half-ass. Mm-hmm. Sometimes your hours are not optional. Everybody likes to believe that you pick your hours and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day,
absolutely not.
Everybody has those times when you'll be like, damn, I told them I can't work past 7, but everybody's looking at me like, we still got a whole bunch of stuff to do, don't you dare leave. And I was like, damn, technically I could leave, but then you have it in the back of your head, that's gonna be bad. There's gonna be a whole bunch of unspoken consequences. And I mean, that's how capitalism works. We all felt it before. I'm not really trying to turn this into a capitalism sucks.
Yeah, capitalism sucks.
But, oh my God, if you have those close friends that everything just aligns, no matter what, you all have jobs, you have all of that going on, you press for time, but you still somehow the universe aligns and you and your friends just got it like that. Be blessed. You guys are amazing.
Yes. Especially if you enter college and you still talk to your best friends from high school, that is considered lucky by a lot of people, because apparently when people get to college, everybody just drops off the face of the earth.
Yes. People change when you leave high school.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the people that you knew in high school are not going to be the same people. And you end up having to reevaluate your friendship.
Yeah, I feel really lucky, and I feel, I'm not even religious or anything, but I feel extremely blessed for the fact that I still have all my original best friends from high school.
I don't. Let me see. I can count on my fingers how many people from high school that I was friends with that I'm still friends with now. And that is 3. Oh. 3. One of them's in the room, the other one lives across the street, and the other one recently moved away to live with his girlfriend. Yeah. But 3. That's it.
3.
Now there's a few people who I wasn't friends with that I'm friends with now. I have a
seriously?
Yeah. That friend of mine, I'm not gonna name drop, but the one that lives about 30 minutes away with her kids.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like her. I didn't really talk to her at all in high school. But we're friends now. There's a few like that, but as far as long-lasting ones, friendships that never stop, 3. That's it.
I have my one friend like that. You know what? Now that I think about it, I have my one friend like that where I just randomly started talking to them, and now we just talk to each other like every day.
Yeah. And then so friendships come in levels. Because you got the friends that you'll see, whether it's every day or periodically. The point is that you see them and you actually spend time with them.
Yeah.
And then there's your internet friends. All right, guys, really quick, I want to take a moment to introduce a segment that we're going to have in the middle of every single one of our shows. It's called 1 Minute Motivation. This doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the topic that we're talking about, but it's just our way of giving you guys some inspiration or some hope, because we know that time isn't easy, because we're both 20-somethings ourselves. We're living this. A lot of this is our opinion, the things we learn from our peers. We know how hard things can be and how easy things can be sometimes. We know how easy it is, especially with how the world works today in our age, how easy it is to get discouraged, how easy it is to be on the downslope. And we don't want that for anybody. We want everybody to do the best that they can, be the best person they can, and to always be on that uprise. So with that, we introduce a segment called 1 Minute Motivation. We'll introduce the topic and get straight in it. All right, 1 minute on the clock. Let's get straight into it. Never apologize for the love and support that you receive. What I'm talking about is, let's say you got those parents or you got those people around you that did what they had to do to make sure you have every opportunity that you possibly could have. And you take advantage of those opportunities because you're just on it. You get somewhere, you're successful, you did all of these great things because the people behind you had your back your entire life. What do you get when you have that? You got all the people in your DMs or on your sides being like, you did that because of mommy and daddy's money. You go to that good school because mommy and daddy paid for it. You know what? Fuck them. That's what I'm gonna say. Fuck them. Because the people that had your back, they did it so that they could make sure that their baby or their friend or whoever have you could get to where they wanted to get to as easily as possible. I'm the type of person where when I have kids, I work hard so that my kids can have everything that they want to have as easily as possible. Yes, I expect them to work hard for those things as well, but I'm gonna give them the biggest head start that I possibly can. And nobody is gonna make them feel bad for that. Or at least if they do, they're gonna be prepared listening to the same thing that I'm telling y'all. Do not apologize for these things. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for it.
And on top of that, just make sure you are grateful for the blessings and the things that you have received from the people that love you and the people that support you, and make sure you return that love and support tenfold to those people. And on top of that, for the people that are complaining on your sidelines, you make sure they have love and support from you as well, because somewhere they are missing it. I'm sorry, but it's true.
And I'm not talking about all my gamers out there. I'm not talking about the people across the world that you game with and you speak to online. I'm talking internet friends. I mean, people that could live in the same city as you, but you never hang out. It's like text and maybe Facebook Messenger, Snapchat only.
Okay.
Those kind of friends. And I mean, those, you can still consider those people real friends. You just don't hang out with them.
I mean, at that point, what is a friend? Is a friend just somebody you just talk to? What is a friend at that point?
That's a personal question. That changes based on who you ask.
I mean, okay, that's true.
Because it depends on what everybody needs. Some people require their friends to be always on it, full on emotional support, always with them. If they call, they pick up. Basically, in order to be a friend, you have to be best friend status with them. Everything is like best friends or we don't talk, period.
Ooh.
But then I know people like that. There's plenty of people like that. And then there's the ones that have do what I do, have the levels. You have your friends at the top that you see consistently, you do stuff with, you hang out with. Those are your go-tos. Then you have your online friends, the ones you'll hit up, when nobody else wants to talk. Maybe you want to talk about something specific. Like that best friend of mine that lives across the street. His ex did him kind of dirty. They're not together anymore. They don't talk. But me and her we're internet friends now. We may say something occasionally to each other in like a chat or whatever, but then that's basically as far as it goes. But then below that, let's say these are, what would be below that?
Acquaintances. Like there is nothing below that. That's acquaintance at that point.
These are the people you'll see. Like if you see them, you'll like dap them up, but then that's it.
Yeah.
You don't really exchange too many words or whatever. Or where do you want to put workplace friends at?
You know what? You and I are workplace friends, but I consider us more than workplace friends at this point. You know who I consider a workplace friend? You already know. Yeah, that person, that's a workplace friend. That's one of them people that you see them at work, y'all dap it up at work, y'all are goofing around being clowns at work. After work, don't text them, don't call them. Y'all not talking, y'all not hanging out. That's a workplace friend.
That kind of friendship don't really mean nothing because it's not like y'all are at work interacting voluntarily.
Absolutely not.
No, y'all
are forced to be there.
You're forced to be there. And you just so happen to see each other and you're just trying to keep the peace. You might actually hate this person, but you don't want to, everybody knows what it feels like where you hate everybody you work with and just going to work. You already hate the job. You don't like what you're doing. You don't make no money. And then now you got to go there and be with people you don't like.
See, no, I don't think that's true though. A workplace friend, at that point, I would just be like my coworkers. Workplace friend is somebody that you'll go to work, they make your day better, blah, blah, blah. But, after work, you just don't interact. Like, you voluntarily interact with them. Your coworkers, you do not interact with voluntarily. They might come up to you and say, hey, can you go get some cheese or something? You'll be like, okay, and that's it. But, workplace friends are different from coworkers.
How likely do you think, or not how likely, how easy is it, do you think, to go from let's say, a workplace friend to a regular friend?
It honestly depends on who you are talking to, okay? Because it is pretty easy. You know, you and I, it was pretty easy to move from that. Some of our other coworkers, it's easy to move from that because they were eager to be friends or whatever. But there are some people who just, you know, they don't really need that. They're like, hey, I'll come to work. We can interact. But after that, I have my other friends over here. They're enough. That's all I need. And on that note, those people that you were talking about, that just, if you're their friend, you have to do all best friend stuff, or if you're just not their friend whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's a job. You need to pay me for that.
Yo!
That's $8 an hour. That's a job right there. That's not even fair.
Why is it a job?
Look, that's not even fair. They don't even have steps. You can't even, you gotta go straight in the best friend. How does that even work? That doesn't even make sense.
Maybe those are just the damaged people that, you know what? It's usually the people that come from a place of having literally no one. Right? When you don't even have the internet friends and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, you might have the workplace friends, because if you go to work, you're probably going to have those.
Oh, yeah.
But then every time you get off, you know, you get to thinking, dang, I really don't have anybody.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do something, I'm basically stuck doing it by myself.
Yeah.
If I have issues, you know, or if I just want somebody to talk to, I don't really have anybody. So the first time you get a friend, especially if that's the only one, you're going to smother them. And what?
But like, okay, you're gonna okay, you may smother them and all this other stuff. But at the point that you're talking about just being friends, you have to be best friend status. Like, that doesn't even scream like someone who is lonely. That screams someone like who has just high standards. Like, you know, if you're not reaching that standard, you're not there. You're not my friend Jim if you're not my best friend Jim. You're just Jim. Like,
You're just Jim.
Like, that's just Jim. Like, you know, I would think that like lonely, like, because in that case, that's just a lonely person. A lonely people would probably be a little bit more lax and lenient on who they call their friends.
Depends on the state of the loneliness. Because if loneliness is eating at you like crippling depression, you'll literally take anybody that'll give you the time of day.
Exactly.
Wait, well then I'm confused.
Then how at that point, because you were saying people who need someone to be their best friend just to be their friend in general are usually people that are lonely. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
And what I'm saying is, if you're lonely, wouldn't you just consider anybody your friend if they gave you the time of day, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first person to consider talking to you outside of a forced environment, boom.
Oh, okay, right.
Next thing you know, you're basically Bonnie and Clyde. At least in your
got
head.
you.
That, thinking about it, man, I'm a very friendly person. I don't mind interacting with people that I get along with. But having somebody at my heels all the fucking time, that sounds like the Holocaust. All right, I'm not gonna call it that, but it sounds absolutely awful. Because there's somebody, I have those people at work. One person in particular follows me around like a lost puppy.
Okay.
Like, go away. Like, let me, and like, have you ever been just feeling bad? Wish somebody would just come and give you a hug.
Right.
But then there's that one person that wants to come, that wants to like be there for you, wants to give you a hug, and you're sitting and thinking in your head, anybody but you. Oh. That's what this is like. Oh my God. Be like, I need a hug, but
not from you. Maybe from that person over there. They're not giving me the time of day though. It's okay. No, it's not. But it's okay.
Now, I'm blessed for what I have. I have a bunch of people around me who support me, and a lot of people that I can call friends. Now, I have the multi-layered system, so I got the people at the top, people at the middle, and then the people in the workplace. I consider all of them friends. They're just at different levels. I have a lot of people like that, and I'm thankful for that. And, I just want to stop and take a moment to, like, even if you don't have any of that, it's not the end of the world, because it's almost impossible to go the entirety of your life. I'm not even going to say that long. It's almost impossible to go even 1 year without meeting somebody that you sync up with.
Exactly.
And the only reason it may seem like it never worked is outside influences that you can't control. Maybe you meet that person, but boom, they move to a different state.
Right.
And it just happens like that. Or, you meet this one person and boom, they go to a different school now. I mean, you'll eventually find somebody else. Even if it seems like you spend every waking moment or every sleepless night, sitting twiddling your thumbs, you'll eventually find somebody.
Just on that note, I personally came into college, didn't know anyone really. I had one best friend that goes to college with me, but right now she's at home. I didn't have friends for 2 years, basically. I did not talk to anyone. I did not hang out with anyone. 2 years, I didn't have any friends. When I came to where we work at, I immediately got a whole bunch of friends, people I can hang out with. It just takes time. It was really hard because I just thought I would never even make a friend at all, and that it just wasn't going to happen, and maybe it would happen after I graduate or something like that. But it did happen, and I'm happy it happened, and I hope it continues to happen. And for anyone out there who is the exact same way, just open up your heart a little bit and, keep interacting and don't give up hope.
I interject myself into people's conversations.
Sure do, nosy.
If I'm feeling like not enough people are talking to me and I hear somebody talking about something relatively hilarious or something that I love to make people laugh. Right. If I feel like I can make them laugh based on what they're talking about, I'm in their conversation now. And I make a lot of friends that way.
True, that's true.
That's one way to do it. Some people will consider it annoying. They'll look at you funny. Okay, you just charge that to the game. But if ain't nobody killed you for doing it yet, then what you're doing ain't dangerous.
I know one thing that specifically works for you is just posing some type of hypothetical situation and asking people what would they do in that situation. It'd be the most ridiculous thing.
I love that. All right, comment section, let's get it. So, what if you had a time machine that you can use as often as you wanted? Let's say you had an unlimited energy source, right? You can use it as often as you wanted, except that it only went forward. How often would you use it? I'll even do you a little bit better. The maximum capacity is 10 people. So let's say it's you and 9 people, anybody you choose. It can be literally anybody can go with you. How often would you use it? How far would you go? Let us know. This will be fun. Honestly,
it is. It really does get conversations going. I mean, for those people who don't know how to start a conversation, maybe, hey, always, you might just go to the hypotheticals and just ask people, what would you do in this situation? That people always have their opinions. Someone's going to say something. So
it's usually going to be something stupid.
Yeah, it'll be something stupid, but it's okay.
All right, people, that's been Take 20. We're so happy to bring you this brand new podcast. We're looking forward to spending more time with y'all and bringing more of what it's like to be in your 20s, how everything affects us, how do we interpret all that information, how do we cope with it. It's been Roscoe.
This is Cassioso. Fuck off. Look, my name is great. I'm Cassioso. It's great.
Oh, we'll work on it. All right, later, y'all.
You've been listening to Take 20, helping you navigate through your 20s and being completely unapologetic about how we do it. On each podcast, we talk about how society and the economy affect us, what's expected of us, mental health, myths about our generation, and how to cope with it all. We hope you enjoyed the show and took something away from it. Reach out to us on Instagram at Take20_podcast. This is Take 20.